What is Kyle Shanahan doing? What is the Shanahan plan?
All right, so let me move to the Banks thing since I already kind of introduced it, right? Second round picks are generally players that impact right away, right? Guys that can usually step in. These are impact players. These aren't players that you're drafting in the second round to develop, right? Unless it's a quarterback or something like that, right? Who's a project, right?
Right.
When you draft Aaron Banks, you draft Trey Sermon, you draft Trey Lance, right? To me, that screams that you guys want to run power to that side and you want Banks to be that guy to move up the field and be out in front, right? Here's the problem. Kyle Shanahan doesn't want Trey Lance to start this first year. Yeah. So your second round pick and your third round pick that you traded up for is essentially redshirted at this point.
Right, because that's for the next offense, right?
Right. So that's for the next offense. That's horrible. I'm sorry. That's horrible.
Yeah. As you say on the East Coast, on coast to coast, horrible. On the West Coast, it's horrible. But it's horrible.
In Jersey, that's horrible.
My dad.
That's horrible, man. That's horrible, man.
Yeah, it is.
Because you need your second round pick to immediately step in. The second round pick shouldn't be something that you're doing for the future. And we've been watching Daniel Brunskill, unfortunately, not play well. And I'm not trying to like bag on him or anything like that, but that's the plan, I think, for Banks and Sermon and Lance. I understand maybe trying to sit Lance, but it's like, man, second round pick, third round pick that you traded up for, man, like a whole year of this, trying to figure out like when you're going to eventually get to it. And I have more thoughts that lead into this because like when we get to the other portion about the quarterback, it's like, man, this is supposed to be your plan going forward for the guy that's going to be here for 5 years. Why are you waiting?
Well, hold on real quick. Let's talk about it right now. Like this is part of the plan that I don't get. So Jose Sanchez, who writes for me, just put out an article and he made such a great point, and I want to bring it up right now. So Kyle, just what he said, the reason they traded up for Lance is because Jimmy gets hurt, right? He said there are other things, but he said, well, it starts with the injuries. It starts with the injuries. Okay. And then you get the guy who's supposed to be here because Jimmy can't stay healthy. And then you pivot to, well, we can't give Trey any meaningful reps with the starters because we're all in with Jimmy. But you know he's going to get hurt. You said he can't stay healthy. You made a drastic move to protect yourself. Well, then you should have been giving Trey more start. You should have been anticipating the injury. And if you gave him 25% of the reps with the starters in training camp, you could be like, look, it's not a competition, but we already said why we brought in Trey Lance, because we're afraid this guy can't stay healthy. It's a violent game. He's got a history. We have to prepare ours. Trey Lance has to be more ready, has to be ready to start by potentially week 2, because that's when Jimmy got hurt last year. This year it was week 4. He could have done all of that, and he wouldn't have been lying. He wouldn't have been inconsistent. He would have been like, look, I said this from the beginning, something we have to do. But he didn't do it. And now he's surprised that Jimmy's hurt and Trey Lance has to come in and play like Tim Tebow because he really hasn't been throwing much with the first team.
And my question is was this the same thought process when you had undrafted Nick Mullins? I mean, it didn't seem like it was too hard to get him ready or to get him layups and get him ezy throws that,
or CJ.
Right. Or CJ. Like that's.
And then I have one more thing to say. If Nate Sudfeld starts next Sunday, they'll have a bunch of easy throws for him. So it's always possible.
Okay. Don't get me upset.
I know. But I'm right on that one, right?
Yeah.
It'll make you pull your hair out.
That's what really was getting me mad. The same layup throws that you got for Jimmy Garoppolo, Nick Mullins, CJ Beathard. I'm talking about 5-yard wide open throws, like either tunnel screens, all of that is gone. And that is a huge problem. I don't want to hear about inaccuracies when you're asking the kid to throw the ball right there. If he can't hit that, then he shouldn't be on your team at all, right? Like he can hit those. I'm not talking about downfield. You want to take less chances downfield, that's fine. Why are the layups that you give Jimmy Garoppolo, Nick Mullins, CJ Beathard, why are they not installed in this game plan for Trey Lance? Where are the layups? You've been getting layups for much worse quarterbacks. Trust me. That's why I'm none of this stuff jives. None of it makes any sense to me. It's almost like he was like, hey, kid, go out there and do your thing. You got it. All on you, man. We're not even going to try to make it a little bit easier for you, man.
Right.
Go get him.
Yeah. It just seems like Kyle really didn't want to be pressured to start Lance the rest of the way. Like, I'm not really going to do much with you. You're making a spot start. You're going to run between the tackles. I'm not going to really put you in a position to do anything where people are like, yeah, start him the rest of the way. No play action, no shots down the field. Really, you're a battering ram this week. I mean, it seems to me like when Colin Kaepernick got his first start against the Bears, by the way Greg Roman and Harbaugh were calling that game, you could tell they've been waiting for that moment. And they weren't going to, they wanted Kaepernick to succeed.
They installed it all week. That's the thing that had me excited.
Yeah.
I'm just like, man.
They wanted him to succeed so they could stick with him. It felt like they wanted, it was Kyle being like, look, this is why I'm going back to Jimmy. This is why I'm going back, because I have to call games this way. It's like, thank you so much, Kyle, for having his, for having his back.
Yeah. I mean, that was my issue with it more than anything. Was like, man, the 16 rushes for Trey Lance, 9 for Elijah Mitchell, that doesn't make sense. And if Elijah Mitchell was on a pitch count, where is Trey Sermon? Make it make sense, please, man. 2 snaps.
So, let me just summarize. The Shanahan plan was to win the Super Bowl this year while drafting for next year. That was the Shanahan plan. That was it, right? In a sentence, that's what they did.
But when do they pick next year? 3rd round?
No, I mean, like, all these picks are like saved for next. You just redshirt your first 4 picks, but you're all in for this year. That was the plan, right? We're going to redshirt our first 4 picks, but we're going to win the Super Bowl this year. This is my problem with this regime. I don't think Kyle Shanahan's coaching can overcome decisions like this. Personnel, vision for the future decisions. Like, that's just terrible. And if the Packers did it, or any other team, the Packers did it 2 years ago with Jordan Love. Everyone was like,
they would have been crushed.
So dumb.
If Matt Nagy did this, they would have ran him out of town at this point.
Yeah. So I think, look, and the problem is Kyle could go to another team and really succeed, but he would need to be in a structured environment where he doesn't make all the decisions, or really makes none of the decisions in terms of personnel. He has input, and someone respects his opinion, just like Les Snead and does with Sean McVay down in LA. But there need to be a strong general manager. That's what they had in Atlanta. Didn't they?
And I mean, all these concerns that I'm bringing up and all these questions that I have doesn't mean that I want Kyle Shanahan fired. Like, so I just want to make sure that I want.
There's a lot of season left. There is a lot of season left.
And look, and coaches go through funks, right? And I'm going to keep pointing to this. So, like Kareem Hunt's rookie year, Andy Reid had him rolling for the first 5 weeks. It's the offense kind of stalled, and he turned it over to a young man named Matt Nagy. Guess what? The play calling went crazy after that. So, look, I'm not saying that he can turn this over to anybody else, because he can't. But sometimes play callers go through funks. They do. But here's the problem. It's year 5. I think so highly of you that I thought that this was going to be a layup game plan. That's the problem more than anything. If you were somebody else who wasn't of this ilk, or somebody who is regarded this highly, maybe we wouldn't be so upset. But when you get Trey Lance finally in a game and you don't game plan the way that you've been game planning for other guys by making easy throws and getting those layups and getting the running game going for him. And here's the other thing. Here's another thing that I got to point at Shanahan about. Execution. Why are guys holding? Okay, you're getting beat. Why is nobody sliding the protection? I don't know who that's on. And this is the first play of the game. Watch it on the All-22. The first play of the game. Literally 5 defensive linemen, 5 offensive linemen. I don't know whose job it is, whether it's Trey or Alex Mack. Nobody slides the protection. There's a guy on the edge named Chandler Jones. Yeah. Free rush at Trey Lance. Guess what?
Yeah, somehow the 49ers didn't get the best pass rusher in football block. That just escaped them on the first play of the game. Oh, my. 55. Oh, that's Chandler. Oh, my bad. That was on me. We'll guess what? From now on, we thought it was 65. 90, you said 50. Okay, we got 55.
But guess what? Trey Lance turns that into a 14-yard gain. If that sort of protection missed call happens with another quarterback, guess what? Sacked horribly. First play of the game. So I don't know who that's on. I'm not going to blame Alex Mack. Not going to blame Trey Lance, because I don't know for sure.
It's on Kyle. It's on Kyle. Get your players prepared. D'Amico did. D'Amico does.
Oh, D'Amico's the best coach on the 49ers right now. Hands down.
D'Amico's
not even a question.
I feel like poor execution is a symptom of poor coaching, and good execution is a symptom of good coaching.